This seems like the perfect SUV, but it's not. Today, I'm going to introduce you to the Lincoln Navigator 2026, an SUV anyone would want to have. This could be the best luxury SUV if it weren't for a couple of details that really got me thinking. It features technology like a concept car, especially in the cabin. However, some owners have raised concerns about a few details you might agree with. And for a full-size SUV like this, you'd imagine there's a V8 under the hood, right? Well, let's see if what we have here is a V8, or how many cylinders they've reduced the heart of this Lincoln Navigator to. And it costs you more than 6 figures. With what you pay for this, you could buy an apartment somewhere. But let's see how refined it is, and if it's more refined than a Cadillac Escalade or a Jeep Grand Wagoneer. We'll find that out next, because it does have a detail that's going to make you sigh. Welcome. In this front section, we see much of the Lincoln Navigator's character, which remains distinct with the Lincoln logo, its best look on the Navigator. A brand that has struggled to survive, as it hasn't had an easy time. Some are surprised it's still operating. But anyway, a pretty big front grille, wide air intake, aggressive, good geometric shapes here that give it that striking look, black grille with some metallic tones. You also have an LED light, which looks really nice when you drive it at night. The contrast with this blue color, now that the sun is coming out, I think you'll be able to see that beauty a little better. Let's say, below the Lincoln Navigator, we're going to find a bit more functionality for air intake. We see the set of sensors, which is very important in this Lincoln Navigator SUV. And when I'm driving it, I'll explain why. The headlight assembly, as expected, here we see it with the LED signature, in a pair of LED projector lenses, which looks really good, just like the daytime running lights. So, in terms of lighting, it's really good. Another distinctive detail is the huge rims, which are covered with Michelin tires, 275 millimeters wide, 50 profiles. And these rims are huge, 22 inches. Also with the distinctive mark of this Lincoln design and the logo that gives them that touch of sophistication. Also, continuing along the side, we will find some very clean lines. Handles in the same color as the body, with a detail here in black, and the Navigator highlighted here. I also think it's a nice touch that looks good on this part of the door, the upper part. Mirror housings in contrasting black with the body color. Let's move a little further towards the back. The gas cap uses the capless system, just with pressure. And speaking of fuel consumption, or to talk about consumption, 18 miles per gallon is the combined average. It's not the most economical, of course, it's a big SUV. Estragona, 18 miles per gallon. In the kilometers per liter system, that's about 7 to 9 kilometers per liter depending on usage. Back here, we're going to find another LED bar from side to side. A distinctive feature of Lincoln, with an almost minimalist design. I mean, it's not screaming luxury like other SUVs, and over here we have. You can open it, obviously with the key, but you have a split tailgate, which the new Ford Expedition also had to make it easier to put things in here. Good storage space, you have good functionality. The third row seats, with just the push of a button, you can fold them down, they go down slowly, and obviously, you increase the versatility of the cargo space. You have a 12-volt connection, it has a regular plug connection, and also USB connections here in this rear part. But now let's take a look at this engine, because I really like it, the way the engine is presented. But is there a V8 here, like the Ford Expedition, and the same Lincoln used to have traditionally? Well, that's history. The 2026 keeps the same engine as the previous year, 2025, which is the V6. There's no V8 here anymore, but obviously it has the support of a turbo. So this is Ford's V6 EcoBoost. What kind of power can you expect? 440 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Yes, it has a good amount of push. In addition, it's paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, just like the Ford Expedition also has, obviously. This one comes with 4x4 traction, but how does that engine perform? Well, let's drive it and I'll tell you how this Lincoln Navigator feels, because I found a couple of details that caught my attention. Once on the move, the first thing I notice is the insulation. This Lincoln Navigator is extremely quiet. Honestly, on the highway, you barely hear any wind noise. It feels like the outside world is muted, on mute. The steering is honestly very light. It's a very assisted steering. It's not, let's say, an SUV that invites you to drive in a sporty way. A relaxed experience in sight of the Lincoln Navigator. That's it. You feel the luxury. You feel a sophisticated drive. And of course, the cabin environment gives you that. A setting that makes you feel really good. It feels big, yes, But the 360 camera and the sensors help a lot, so it's easy to handle. Maybe not for everyone, because of the size itself. Not everyone feels comfortable with such a big SUV, like the Expedition, like the Sequoia, or like this Lincoln Navigator, already moving into the luxury segment. But you have assistance features, you have aids that make that task easier. And now, let's take a look at the cabin. Because in the cabin, there are things I didn't like. Yes, there's a lot of luxury and all that, but there are things that really, and I know this is going to spark comments and controversy. But first, if you're enjoying the video, I ask you to please give me a like. It doesn't cost you anything. That way, we help people who are looking for SUVs like these to watch the video and get good information, good guidance. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. It shows support, helps others find these videos, and assists people in making purchasing decisions. With guidance, with information, let's go to the cabin. In the cabin, obviously, this huge screen stands out. It's the first thing that catches your eye when you come in here. You see that enormous screen. Wow, what happened to the small screens from other times? That screen is like being in a movie theater because it has so much information. It's like having your cell phone super amplified. Because look, it gives you the weather report, the connections, the music, the clock, the map. It has it all integrated. It's a really nice integration, the kind that's like a dissolve. One piece of information blending into another. I mean, they're not modules like static boxes, but everything is intertwined in a really nice way. You have this selector here to manage the different applications, this crystal selector. You also have an auxiliary screen to change driving modes and access various applications. YouTube has the integration of Google Maps, Chrome, you have those Google integrations, as well as Google Assistant and the Play Store, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, obviously, the button system for the transmission controls. You have it here, in a huge central console that I like. You have wireless charging for your phone. You have your cup holder hidden here, some plastics. Yes, for a car an SUV that costs you more than, I mean, the 6 figures, I think maybe the materials here could have been better. However, it doesn't look out of place here. We have the Rebel system, the latest in audio, a good platform. Here it gives you a sense of spaciousness. The steering wheel is one of those oval-shaped ones. It's not completely round. I like it, but here's one of the details I liked the least. And here I'm going to talk to you about a detail that's one of the things I didn't like. As you can see, here's the graphic representation of the audio buttons. Why? Because this vehicle almost completely lacks physical buttons. I mean, for the radio, to adjust the mirrors, to control the volume, for the telescopic steering, the height and distance adjustment, everything is digital. You have to operate it here while watching the screen over there. For example, to raise the volume, you use your finger here but watch the reflection on the screen. They've said that, okay, so it doesn't cause distraction, so you don't have to keep your head down here and then it becomes a distraction. But to me, it seems even more distracting, because I don't know. You need to get used to looking much farther over here than when you just had physical buttons and didn't pay attention to that area. Because this one, if you press here, it already changes the audio buttons and it changes digitally here, virtually, to control the mirrors. And that's how it works. So you have to move this here, go to the mirror to adjust it, and then the controls here change. And that's where you start adjusting your left mirror, your right mirror. But if you want to change, for example, let's press here. It's confusing. If you want to adjust the steering, you have to press there, and then also check over there and check here and start pressing. There you go. There it's going up and there it's going down the steering wheel. And to adjust the distance, you do it like this and like this. Not very similar to electric vehicles like Lucid or Tesla. But I think this interface is it's not intuitive at all, and I didn't like it at all. I'm also a fan. I'm a fan of audio buttons. I like an audio button, and also for the driving controls. Well, I don't know about that, you tell me in the comments. If this digital interface bothers you, everything virtual, everything touch, or if you prefer physical buttons, let me know there. And well, maybe you'll say, right, 3D Car Power 360. The thing is that you're already too old. Well, let me know your age, because my audience is mostly between 18 and 47 years old. Let me know your age. What do you think about replacing physical controls with touch controls for a digital experience like I just showed you? I'd like your thoughts. Look, this huge panoramic sliding roof also extends to the second row, but the third row doesn't have any roof at all, sunroof. But anyway, it's quite large and visually adds a lot to the cabin. The suspension honestly does a great job filtering out imperfections. On the highway, it feels like the one in the city, as if it were floating. You only really notice the weight when you make some tight maneuvers. But actually, it doesn't feel sluggish at all. The acceleration is strong, and you have the torque right there at your disposal. I don't feel it slow. Look, I'm accelerating here. Come on, I don't feel it slow. For its size, I mean, when you step on the accelerator, you get a good response, and that's part of the whole experience. You don't have a V8 there, but with that turbo engine, I think it responds pretty well. Another very technological, very good feature it has is the hands-free system called Blue Cruise. General Motors vehicles. General Motors call it Super Cruise. Here, it's the Blue Cruise system. Honestly, I prefer General Motors Super Cruise. Blue Cruise is good and has improved, which is basically that on some highways that are mapped through the Global Positioning System and control. Along with the cruise control, you get a notification that says Blue Cruise available, and then you activate the cruise control and you can let go of the steering wheel. What does it do? It corrects for you, let's say, moderately, and always keeps you alert that you should be looking forward. No, don't get distracted. Don't read a magazine or use your phone. You can relax a bit, take your feet off, and stay attentive while using your turn signal. Can you change lanes? The Super Cruise system in Chevrolet, General Motors, and Cadillac vehicles has the advantage of already being operational. You don't need to use the turn signal. It detects when to change lanes. In this Lincoln Navigator, I had to activate the signal. Still, it's the Blue Cruise hands-free system. But now I'm going to show you something that, if I didn't tell you, you would never discover in your life. It's one of those details, a luxury detail, but it's very well hidden. That's something you'll find here by lifting the lid of the central compartment in this storage space. It's not around here, but look, nobody looks at this and this. When you press this button, voila, you can see 3 little boxes there. Brown, purple, and blue. Look, how nice. Of course it is. And here we see some circuits. Well, this is nothing more and nothing less than scents to be distributed throughout the entire cabin. The scent has 3 different fragrances. And they're connected, like I said, to those circuits, so your Lincoln Navigator smells really good to improve the experience. It's a luxury detail that, as I said, if I didn't mention it, nobody would notice. You have great visibility. Honestly, yes, the only thing is that the mirror. It's strange that it doesn't have a camera monitor, a camera lens that reflects in the mirror. It doesn't have that. For a truck that costs what this one does, I mean, we're talking about premium, I think it should have it. It should have the mirror option, but also with a camera, right? Here, getting onto the highway, we accelerate. You can hear an engine noise. No, it doesn't disappoint, it doesn't sound out of place, you can go ahead and overtake. No. Driving modes, of course, all of this is, as I've told you, digital electronic operation. It's like you're missing a button here to be able to maneuver, to be able to feel. Let's say it's easier. But you have to press a couple of commands, which I don't think is good, let's say, for safety, to change the driving mode. And I have it in normal driving mode. I just switched it to Excite. That's what they call the engine mode. Everything. No. It involves a safety risk, because calmly, while you're doing this here with your finger, which I think you can also activate from here, but still, you have to focus on what you're doing. You could start drifting out of your lane. I mean, your hand follows your eyes and you could drift out of your lane and it could be a dangerous situation. So I can't say I like that part very much, but anyway, the acceleration is strong, there's torque available from low revs, and it doesn't feel slow for this size. It responds with authority when you do this. Look, press the accelerator. The space for the third row of seats is good. We're talking about a full-size SUV. You're not going to be cramped. I think it has good space. You also have USB connectors. And access is easy too, because at the entrance there's a button where you can easily move the second row seats electrically. When you open any of the doors, the retractable step comes out. It comes out to meet you to make it easier for you to get in. And once you're inside, obviously, it's pretty easy. With the step, you feel very comfortable. You have USB connections here. You have a good center console. Here for the second row passengers, this is very luxurious. You also have more compartments here, and obviously you have the option of heated seats in the second row. Now, if you're going to buy it, well, how much do you have to take out of your bank account? How much do you have to write the check for? If you still write checks because now everything is just a bank transfer, well, you have to. If you want the cheapest one, this starts at $90,000. $90,000, but the most equipped ones, One like this can easily go over $105,000, 6 figures. It's impressive. If you're going to the dealer, that's the cash you need to bring. And if you're going to the dealer, I recommend that you keep your mouth shut. Don't open your mouth too much because they can use it against you with strategies to get more money out of you. So I recommend that you keep your mouth shut at the dealer. That's the name of my digital book, which is in the description of this video, and there I tell you how you can get it, how you can download it. Keep your mouth shut at the dealer, so you have the chance to make a good deal. Very good. What do you think of the Link or Navigator? This edition, the Reserve 4x4 Luxury, but it's not perfect either. Like I said, let me know in the comments, and also what I asked you inside, let me know how old you are. If you want, it's not mandatory anymore. And what do you think about the interface, which I didn't like? I'll read your comments. For now, that's all. I want to send greetings to all the friends who follow me. From Mexico, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Argentina, Chile, Peru. There are many. And Panama too. Obviously, all my great audience in the United States. The United States audience keeps growing more and more. A big hug to the entire Latin American community, which is a driving force of hard work here in the United States. And I say that because I've been here for 36 years. Here, it's not that easy. A big hug to the entire Latin American community here in the United States. Very well. I'll leave a video here for you to watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Sending you a big hug. Subscribe to the channel. Bye.